Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Bell. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our call-in number is 971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute your phones. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing star 6. It's very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. So we've called the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome my fellow commissioners. Good morning, Commissioner Olson.
Commissioner Bell, I believe he said he wasn't going to be able to be here today. He was traveling to Salem for a meeting and would be there.
Oh, thank you very much. I missed that. I appreciate it. Well, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We do not have Eric Swanson from Adventist Health Tillamook with us this morning, so hopefully we can jump right in with the Coastal Caucus. Do we have Senator Weber with us? I know they're in Salem this week, and she was hoping to join us, as was Rep. Javity. Do we have Representative Javity?
I am here.
Hey, good morning. Will you start us off?
I'm happy to. I'm on my way to Salem this morning for legislative days, which will keep the next 3 days pretty busy. Today we'll be meeting with different constituent groups throughout the district who are having items they'd like to discuss for the upcoming session. And I talked about some of them last week. We'll be talking about in-network pediatric care for children. We're going to be talking about the Pacific City State Airport funding. It's going on almost 5 years. I'll be meeting with Commissioner Doug Olson, as well as the Friends of Pacific City Airport and the Department of Aviation today to discuss what we can do to get those funds moving. And also meeting with different groups to discuss port funding for Garibaldi, Nehalem, Astoria, and Eelgrass. Actually, will be back on the agenda today. We talked about it last week with the other legislators along the coast on trying to really just hammer out and nail down how much eelgrass is out there, what the impact is, and what we can do to make sure we don't disturb it and then have the negative effects of that throughout the Tillamook Bay, for example. Then tomorrow, committee meetings throughout the day. I'll be reporting to the Behavioral Healthcare Committee on a task force where we looked at the safety of healthcare workers in behavioral health spaces. That would be like psychiatric care, substance abuse care facilities, residential facilities where people are receiving treatment for a variety of behavioral health issues. And we found that there's been some gaps in the safety that the current rules don't apply to, and so we have some recommendations for the legislature in the upcoming session. And then Thursday, and we'll also be doing housing and homelessness tomorrow, as well as economic development, small business committees, where we expect to continue to discuss some of the issues around homelessness and how much money the governor was allocated and how we should like to see that spent for the next biennium. And Thursday is our special session to appropriate that money for wildfire. And that will take us all the way till Friday. I'm going to be up in, we'll start off the morning down in Tillamook County. We're going to meet with the superintendent at the Tillamook School District, then meeting with the Housing Commission, and then up to Astoria to go to Lifeboat Services, which is a organization that provides needed services for food, health, clothing. To the Potsdam County Food Bank for a tour of their new refrigeration system, and meet with some other constituents there. And that's the week. And the last week went down to Pacific City's Chamber of Commerce dinner. It was good turnout down there. Great to see everybody there and the good work that's being done in South County. And then met with Coastal Caucus, like I said, on Thursday, where the main discussion was eelgrass. And then Saturday went up to the Seaside Festival of Trees and to support the Providence Hospital up there and some of the cancer services and treatments they're trying to bring to the coast so that we can, those that need to have those life-saving treatments. We have
Uh-oh, I think we've lost Rep. Javity's audio.
I can hear you again.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I might
That's
lose you
okay.
again here in a minute. I'm on the way to Salem.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. It sounds like a full, interesting week. When you're going over there, do you stay in Salem or do you drive back and forth every day?
I drive back and forth every day. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from my doorstep to the Capitol. So usually home, depending on when my last meeting is, between 6 and 7. And for 4 days a week, the legislature doesn't usually meet Fridays.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. I hope you have ice-free travels this week.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been pretty slippery, hasn't it? In fact, that pass from Hebo over to Grand Run was pretty icy, and even the average temperature when I was watching was around 25 to 30 degrees.
Okay. Well, I stay safe. I wish you safe travels, and thanks for representing us in Salem this week.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good to talk to you all.
Thanks, you too. We'll look forward to hearing from you next week, hearing how it went.
Will do. Fantastic.
Okay, take care. I'll just shout out to Senator Weber again for a moment and see if she was able to join us. If not, let's move on to Tillamook County Community Health Center.
And good morning, Commissioner. It's Ed Wilson with the Health Department.
Good morning, Ed.
And good morning, Tillamook County. Well, we are in the winter season, so staying safe and warm can be a challenge during the winter months. So we've got a few tips for staying healthy in the cold. First one is to stay active. Let's not let cold weather stop us from exercising. Exercise has many benefits, such as lowering blood pressure, boosting your energy levels, strengthening your bones and muscles, and lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes. Try taking nature walks on fair weather days and make sure to wear your layers. Before heading out, check the weather forecast as things can definitely change quickly here on the coast. If you want to stay indoors, consider tuning into a free or low-cost online workout class. Or if you have a big to-do list, remember that active housework such as vacuuming, sweeping, and cleaning all count towards your physical activity goals. Well, it's not too late to get your COVID-19 and flu vaccines. Go ahead and give us a call at 503-842-3900 to schedule an appointment to get vaccinated. We are well into our fall and winter respiratory virus season, and with more holiday gatherings to come, it is more important than ever to use prevention strategies. This includes staying up to date with your COVID-19 and flu vaccines, and if you're an older adult, getting your RSV vaccine can lower your risk of serious illness. It's also important to practice good hygiene, such as washing your hands for at least 20 seconds, and taking steps for cleaner air indoors by opening doors and windows, changing your heating filters, and using an air purifier. If you do catch a respiratory virus, reduce the spread by staying home and seek health care for treatment. Find more information on treatment options and how to stay healthy during respiratory virus season at cdc.gov. We do have free COVID-19 test kits available at the Health Department's front desk, and then also stay tuned for our tips on our Facebook page. Now, we do have an announcement that Dr. Darren Pruhl here will join the Tillamook County Community Health Center's provider team starting December 16, 2024. Dr. Pruhl here is a board-certified family physician and a certified medical director. For over 20 years, his practice has focused on the care of adults in a variety of settings, including outpatient primary care, post-acute and long-term care, as well as dementia care. He's accepting new patients at both the Tillamook and Rockaway locations, So patients interested in making an appointment with him can call 503-842-3900. And as a final reminder, we will be closed December 24th and 25th, as well as January 1st for the holidays. Tillamook County Community Health Centers is wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. And that's our update. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate it. Let's move on to Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy and Gail Nelson.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
We have 4 announcements this morning. First is the open enrollment health insurance assistance. I know I've also mentioned this previously, but it is really important, and it is tomorrow, Wednesday, December 11th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the library in Tillamook. Our certified insurance assister will be available there to help people sign up for insurance through the Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace, or for people who need help signing up for the Oregon Health Plan. And also we do, in addition, have new staff. We're pleased to welcome 2 new clinical team members. First is Tonya Frederick. She's a family nurse practitioner with a strong background working with children and adolescents. We're happy to have her as part of the team. Also, Elizabeth Pulliam, she's an RN care coordinator, and Elizabeth started with us just this past week, and another welcome addition to help support our patients and our providers, and also the community. Construction update, the new health center and pharmacy. You may have noticed if you're driving by, the first of structural beams were placed last week, and this helps to set the stage for the actual building to start to take shape. And finally, the Nehalem Bay Health District Winter Open House was last Thursday. We were there. We joined the Health District and other community partners at a winter open house at the Pine Grove in Manzanita, and we were able to get feedback from the community and share updates on projects and services. And that's it for us this morning. And yes, if you're coming here to the clinic this morning, the hill is passable with about 20 miles an hour. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gail. Yep, my drive was icy this morning also. Well, thanks for your report, and thanks for your excellent work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's move on to Tillamook Family Counseling Center and Frank Hannah Williams.
Good morning, everyone. Frank Hannah Williams, Director, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. I have two updates. One is that as a result of some funds that have come to us from the legislature, and as a result of the fine work by Senator Weber, Senate Bill 1530, we have been able to create a partnership with an agency, Iron Tribe Network, and as a result of that partnership, we are moving to open a co-ed family-style recovery home in Tillamook County, and actually have made the purchase of a location and it is at 1512 2nd Street. This is a self-pay recovery-style housing model for individuals and families who are dealing with some concerns around their recovery. And we will have a open house, an opening next Wednesday, December 18th, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And look to begin to provide this service and support for our recovering community in Tillamook County. That is one announcement. The other is this is the holiday season, and sometimes we have our expectations a little bit higher than we may be able to manage. And I think our recommendation would be is that we look to keep our expectations realistic. And there may be some things that you might not be able to do this holiday season that you might have thought you had to do, but for your own personal mental health, if you will, you may need to scale some things back. So keeping our expectations realistic, and doing what you can, being able to reach out to friends and family that you can share how you are being able to manage cutting back those expectations can be very important. For instance, one example of this might be, are you really able to manage sending out Christmas cards this year? Maybe there are some things that have happened in your life that are going to cause you to cut back on that, and thinking through if that's okay, and that might be an expectation that you need to pare down. So just generally keeping our expectations at a minimum and getting through this holiday season with the things that are really important. So that is our update for today, and I'll take questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Frank. Those are both excellent messages, and congratulations for opening a family-style recovery house. That is thrilling news. I didn't know that was happening.
Thank you.
Is there a name for it?
No, it's
okay.
I don't think we've gotten to that part, but we have gotten to the part of doing the purchase and beginning to present to the community. But there isn't really a name just yet, and if that happens within the next few weeks, we'll announce that. I think I think to be able to say Tillamook Family Recovery Home.
Perfect.
Is probably the name. So if there's anything else that comes up, we'll share that.
Thank you. Well, it's so exciting and it's so important. I think finding housing for anyone who doesn't own a home at this point is very challenging, and especially for people who are newly in recovery. Maybe they've been houseless, maybe they're starting over, maybe they're just exiting treatment. It's just, I'm so excited that you're doing that, because it provides a bridge for people to get back into a sustainable, healthy life. It's just great news. Thank you for your work.
Yes, this creates a nice opportunity to connect with the agency Iron Tribe Network, who has a long history in Oregon of things related to family reunification and recovery housing. So this is a very nice opportunity for us to partner with them.
It's really good news. And how many people will be able to live there?
It looks like we're talking about 6 or 7, and we also have some thoughts about being able to make some adjustments and some renovation to the part of the home which is a shop, and may be able to expand that number, but that's kind of the number we're looking at.
Well, that is wonderful news. Thank you for your work on that.
You're welcome.
Well, let's move on to emergency management and Randy Thorpe.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Randy.
Yes, I wanted to touch on a couple of things. I'm sure most everybody's aware of the earthquake and the warning that went out last Thursday. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things in case people aren't knowledgeable on how that all comes about. And basically the National Tsunami Warning Center, which is located up in Alaska, is a center that issues any type of tsunami messages for continental United States, Alaska, Canada, which means us. And their alerts go through the wireless emergency alert system. That's the same system that when you get those amber alerts and silver alerts, that's the same pathway that those are sent out. And with this one here, when the information came out to me, it was basically, the warning was for California, Northern California, and the southern part of Oregon, and it went as far north as just a little bit south of Florence, which is basically a little over 100 miles from Neskowin. So we were quite out of the danger zone with this particular situation that happened. And that's one reason why we didn't get any of the alerts from the National Tsunami Warning Center. And the National Weather Service also works with them, and they noted that the quick issuance is basically because tsunami waves can travel as quickly as 500 miles an hour in deep ocean. And even with an earthquake of 7.0, it can produce some damaging local tsunamis. And that's the main critical factor of why they sent that warning out, is they just wanted to forewarn people that there was a chance and that they should start moving to high ground. But after they issued that warning, the National Tsunami Warning Center continued to analyze all the data about the earthquake and the tsunami because they wanted to do some additional diving into the data. And as they did that, they showed that this quake happened on a type of fault that rarely produces large tsunamis. However, they are nearby offshore faults that historically have produced them, but not this one. So when they realized that no damaging tsunami threat became evident, the warning center went ahead and canceled that warning. It was about an hour after the initial. And the National Weather Service followed up with, I think, a very important comment. It says, it's important to know the risk. A tsunami can happen at any time, and there's a chance that a near-shore tsunami beats that first warning that can be sent out. They said, if you are on the coast and feel an earthquake, get to higher ground immediately. Don't wait for a warning. And so that's really another message I think we've been telling people is that is our first initial warning here. That tsunami is possible is when we feel that earthquake. And the other thing, I just want you all to, if you haven't, please sign up for Oregon Alerts. And an interesting fact with these wireless emergency alerts that are sent out, they basically are sent out to your phone. They override any silencing that you do, except I found out that if you have an iPhone, you can go into your iPhone and basically silence those alerts, which I don't know. I've got a personal opinion on that, but anyway. But if you have an Android, that is not an option. So I just want to let people know that if you have an Android, please go into your alert notifications on your iPhone and make sure that for some reason you haven't silenced those alerts, because we don't want your phone to be turned on silent when the National Tsunami Center is sending out one of those wireless alerts. So anyway, be safe out there. Like I say, we're going to have a little bit of fog and ice, and it looks like the rain is going to be coming back on Thursday, but the forecasts look like it's not going to be, any drenching rain, no atmospheric river. So chance of any type of river flooding is pretty low and insignificant for the next couple of weeks. But we will start getting that rain back in. And so just, again, if you're out traveling, just drive with extreme caution. And if you're going to go over into the valley on the other side of the mountain, they're definitely got a lot of fog going on over there and a lot of icy roads. So just slow down and be careful. And that's all I've got for today, Commissioner.
Thank you, Randy. Thanks for talking about the earthquake off the coast of Eureka, California, and the tsunami warning. It was very interesting, and I thought a good reminder to us that these things can happen anytime. And when it happened, I wondered about. I have learned previously about the Cascadia subduction zone, and I've read it described as a series of zippers that starts, the Cascadia subduction zone starts in Northern California, and there's 1/3 of it, and then 1/3 in the central region, and then the north third goes from Washington up to British Columbia. So when it happened, I wondered if that was the bottom third of the Cascadia subduction zone zipper, which I understand can cause a tsunami, but it can also cause the other two to go off. So they can set each other off. Sometimes historically, all three have happened, and sometimes just a certain segment of it has happened, or two segments of it. So it, all my Cascadia subduction zone red flags went up briefly, and we were, I think everybody was lucky that it was on a different fault line that doesn't result in a tsunami. So it's all very interesting science.
Right. Yeah, and that's the reasons why they send out these warnings just with the minimal amount of information they have, but then they dive in and find out exactly which fault it was assigned to, look at some historical data, and that's why they were able to take down that warning after they did that research. But that's the first thing I thought of too, and so I quickly got in on all the little webinars that both the National Weather Service and the National Oceanography at NOAA, I can't remember what it stands for, because they were putting out a lot of this type of information. That's why I was monitoring that just to make sure where they were going with this, because I agree with you, Commissioner. That was my first thing. Is this the bottom end of Cascadian? Is it's going to start rippling back up? But anyway, and I don't know if you guys watched any of the news, but I'm kind of glad that we don't live in an area where there's that many people that are trying to evacuate. But it did point out to me that if you decide you're going to get in your car and drive anywhere, all you have to do is look at those video and see all the parked cars along the freeways next to the ocean in California, and realize that if that's your escape route, it's not an escape route. And that's the other thing that I really noticed with it, is seeing, everybody trying to drive away, and they get onto the freeway and there's, you're not moving anywhere. So that's the other thing there is that don't try to drive away. Just, know your evacuation routes and just get to higher ground. That's your safest thing to do, because you're not going to be able to drive away from anything like that.
Thank you. That's an excellent point. The roads, and particularly bridges, may be impassable after a big earthquake anyway. But you're absolutely right. Then there, especially if there's road damage, people, if they were able to get out onto the road, may very well get stuck there. You're right.
Yes.
Well, I felt like this really highlighted for us the importance of preparedness and drills and evacuation exercises, so that everybody knows when this happens here, because it's a when, it's not an if. It may be an if in our lifetimes. We don't know for a fact that it's going to happen here in our lifetimes, that we'll have a Cascadia subduction zone event, but we're in the window of the time when it's possible. It's possible that it could happen in our lifetimes. It's possible it could happen next week, or 50 years from now, or 100 years from now. We just can't know, but we know that it will because of the historical data. So when it happens here, it'll save lives for people to know where to go and what to do and to be prepared. That's what will save lives here. So it's just really reminds us, this is a no cost reminder, like, you guys need to get ready. So thanks for talking about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the Board of Commissioners and Commissioner Scar.
Good morning. Thank you. Well, I will chime into the conversation you're just having about emergency preparedness and the tsunamis. I went to the Oceanside Neighborhood Association meeting on Saturday, and their new fire chief gave a great presentation. It was a wonderful conversation about emergency preparedness, specifically for Oceanside, and specifically for what, would happen there and what they need to be aware of. So I just love to remind everyone to look in your local communities to see if you have a preparedness group that is already doing really good work, and to get engaged with that. And I would also suggest, if you are in the central Tillamook area, I believe we are still looking for folks to fire up a really good preparedness group here. So Commissioner Bell or Randy, if I'm incorrect on that, please correct me. But I do think we're still looking for champions who are interested in engaging as volunteers and engaging more folks as volunteers to stand alongside our professional folks, our fire and emergency response, et cetera, in these kinds of situations. So if you're interested, please reach out to Randy. Okay, a couple other things I wanted to touch on. We had our Housing Commission meeting last week on Friday. We had a really good discussion about the housing needs analysis that we have contracted to have updated. So many of you may, if you followed the Housing Commission for a long time, know that back in 2019, a full housing needs assessment was done countywide to kind of guide the work of the Housing Commission. And that document has been utilized to do the work. And now we're looking and saying, wow, that was a long time ago. It's time for us to update that document. So we're excited that this spring we should have an updated housing needs assessment for Tillamook County, really looking at what progress has been made, how the environment has changed in terms of housing need, in terms of wages, how that impacts housing need, et cetera. So we'll get some presentations on that once it comes out in the spring. But that was a great meeting that we had on Thursday talking with our consultant. The other thing about Housing Commission is that the grant application process is open now. It's closing shortly. And there will be a special meeting on January the 14th to see the presentations and review the proposals from all the developers who apply in this round. So if you're interested in knowing who's applying for grant funds from the county for housing development, that meeting is, as all meetings of the Housing Commission, a public meeting, and everyone's invited to join us. It will be held at the college this time based on just availability of room space, but there will also be a link available on the community development website. I'll talk more about that when it gets closer, but that's January the 14th. If you want to set aside that day on your calendar, it will be, I believe, a pretty full day of presentations. Other pieces, Festival of Trees for Pioneer Museum was on Friday night, and it was a great event as always. Had a good turnout, raised about $16,000 for the programming of the museum. So I appreciate everyone who participated. There was an amazing silent auction, and I know there were lots of folks who participated throughout the week as well as at the event itself. So thank you everyone for that. The Pioneer Museum really has some amazing things going on and huge numbers of students that come through every year as part of our school system's educational basis, as well as visitors and locals in the community. If you haven't been to the Pioneer Museum lately, I encourage you to check it out. Other things going on. I was yesterday, spent the day in Portland at the Oregon Leadership Summit. Very interesting opportunity to hear from business leaders across the state of Oregon as to what they saw as the environment in which we're operating, what was going well, where the greatest needs lie. Had the opportunity to meet the new CEO of the Creamery Association, David Booth, at the event. Look forward to continuing to work with TCCA here in our community. Had a conversation with Senator Anderson regarding some housing funding that's out there that Tillamook County is just on the cusp of securing that housing. So it was a good conversation with him as well. Sometimes networking is some of the best work that we do, and that was a great event to do that. This Friday, I will be traveling to Salem and spending the day there for federal timber reasons. We do have land in Tillamook County that is part of the Oregon and California Railroad, which sounds like a strange thing since we don't have a railroad going from north to south. But these are lands that were originally set up by the federal government for the railroad to come across the country and to have spurs moving through. And once the railroads were complete, any land that did not get used by the railroad was made available for sale, and any land that was not sold was in fact given to the counties, but for management by the federal government for timber purposes. So we are part of an organization called the ONC Lands, and the meeting that I will be attending on Friday as a voting board member for Tillamook County will be to determine the next actions of what that particular group is working on. They are working on similar things in timber as we are in the state forest, looking for healthy forests, looking for fire-wise forests, looking for the impacts that we can do to ensure that we have the right amount of habitat, the right amount of harvest, and overall healthy forests. So that will be where I will be on Friday. And with that, I will turn it back to you, Commissioner Bell.
Thank you, Commissioner Scar. I appreciate your report. I will just mention that today we're participating in a local public safety coordinating council workshop, and the acronym for that is LIPSIC. So sometimes you may hear us talk about LIPSIC. So the group of folks who are involved in LIPSIC, who are members of LIPSIC, are all involved in public safety, of course. And we have a training workshop today and a couple more sessions in the next week, I believe. And what we're working on is developing collaborative teams for working together on projects. And so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm grateful to people who have committed the time and the energy to do the work. And I'm particularly grateful to Nick Troxel, Tillamook Police Chief Troxel, for his leadership. He is the chair of LIPSIC, and he's doing an outstanding job of leading the organization. So next week I'll be better able to report what we did in the workshop, but that's going on today. And a couple pieces of good news. Last week I was in Northwest Oregon Housing Authority meeting on Thursday. I'm on that board. I represent Tillamook County on that board as a tri-county board related to affordable housing. And we heard from the Manzanita city manager, Leila Aman, that they have a large housing project just beginning, just getting off the ground in terms of construction in Manzanita, which is thrilling because, Manzanita is considered an area where it's completely not affordable to live, and yet there are all kinds of people who work there who need a place to live. And so that's really great news. And I was reflecting on I think it was last year, but it could have been even the year prior, that Senator Weber got together with folks from Manzanita and helped them get some of the funding for that project. So that's very exciting. And another good news thing I'd like to share is that last week the Board of County Commissioners approved funding for the North County Recreation District pool project. And that was it was such a great day, I think, for us, and certainly for the folks from NCRD. It was a great project for us to support with transient lodging tax dollars. So we have a reserve of transient lodging tax dollars. It's not a huge reserve, but the money comes in annually from visitors to the community. So this isn't part of our property taxes or anything else. It's just money from visitors who spend the night here. And we have to spend it on 70% of it. We have to spend on tourism related facilities or promotion. And so the pool at NCRD, in case you don't know, North County Recreation District has a historic pool. I think it's 94 years old. It's still operational, but it needs to be replaced. So they have been working diligently for many years to raise the money to build a new pool. And they've raised $15 million so far, and they're 2/3 of the way through the project, and they were still short $2 million. And so we were able to say, yes, we will support this project with $1.7 million. Some of that upfront, I think it was $550,000 upfront from TLT funds, and the rest in annual installments that they'll use to pay off. They got a loan for the construction project, and they'll be able to use the annual installments of transient lodging tax funds to pay off their 5-year loan. So that was thrilling to be able to invest TLT money into a local facility that will serve both visitors and locals. It has the reason there was a pool built in the first place was to save lives. Some young people had died, drowned, and to save lives by teaching kids how to swim. And so it has life-saving meaning. It has health benefits for the community. It's certainly recreation benefits and great benefit to visitors. So there are we have these opportunities to invest TLT funds in a way that benefit visitors, but more importantly to some people, benefit the community that the visitors come to visit. So it was just a wonderful thing to be able to do. And in our meeting last week, Commissioner Scar was talking about, there are a lot of great projects out there in the county, but there are maybe no other projects that are already so, they already had $15 million that they had raised the funds for. They already had complete community buy-in because locals passed a bond. They were already not only shovel ready, but they're 2/3 of the way through the project. It was like it hit all the boxes for a great TLT investment. So that was a wonderful thing for us to be involved in, and I'm grateful that it worked out that way. And with that, I will move on to the City of Manzanita. Do we have Mayor Stock or Linda Kozlowski or somebody on from Manzanita? Well, if we do, and you're trying to unmute, just chime in when you're ready. I'll move on to the City of Nehalem. Oh, yes.
Commissioner Scar, my apologies. That *6 needed about 3 times this morning, but I finally got there. Sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe I'm out of practice. I've missed the last couple of weeks, so it's great to be back, and it's great to hear everyone's news this morning. Such a lot of reasons to have good hope for things that are happening in the county and around us. I will just do a couple of things this morning. I wanted to say we had what I consider one of the ideal we have it often, but an ideal council meeting last week. We have our meetings on Wednesdays, the beginning of the month. And we did kind of a really nice combination of things that when you're finished with the meeting, it just gives you a lot of pleasure that it may not be huge, massive things you've done, but a lot of steady progress has been made. And some of that involves recognizing some really good members of our community. So I'd just like to run through what we did just for a moment. So we did deal with the FEMA biological opinion and talked about the process that we use to get to the city's decision on that. We, I think, as the commissioners well know, are far, far, far less affected by this within our city limits than many of the communities around us up and down the coast. But nonetheless, we received the recommendation and approved from our city manager for how we will approach that, for the handful of homes that are right on the coast and are affected or in the zone that's affected by this. We also, and this is a nice staff development thing also, we also received a formal financial audit for last year from the company that does that work for us, and had a chance to recognize and thank our accounting manager, Nina Christ, who, along with the work she's done with staff, delivered a faultless, I would just emphasize that, faultless audit this year. So really proud of how that work has come along in the last several years and the good people that work on that. We had a chance to recognize a long-serving member of our planning commission, Phil Mannon. The respiratory thing has affected me, so I was listening to all the good advice I got from one of our earlier call participants, so sorry about my voice this morning. But anyway, we recognized Phil, thanked him for his steady work on this for a number of years, and then we also had the chance to appoint his replacement and confirm 2 of the commissioners, who will be returning, who applied and were returned to that committee. So that was great, and we signed our memorandum of understanding with the Emergency Volunteer Corps of Nehalem Bay. Like many agreements and arrangements up and down the coast, we had a very strong relationship between the City of Manzanita and the EVC, but it was time to formalize that a bit more. So our city manager worked very hard with the EVC leadership team and they came up with our memorandum of understanding. And that really just helps us clarify roles that we each have, the responsibilities we have to each other, decision making, which of course is really important in that area. And then finally, with a connection back to the comment about housing in Manzanita, we gave the city manager permission to proceed with approving a restrictive covenant on the land that the developer who's doing the project, excuse me, a restrictive covenant on the land that will be used for one and or two possibly affordable housing projects. This was very important, and we really appreciate the work that everybody has done on this. And it's one of the many steps the city has taken over the last 3 to 4 years to get ready and prepare for affordable housing in our community. So there'll be much more news on that going forward, but we hit another one of those many milestones we've had along the way. And I think it's just a tribute to ongoing planning and perseverance and a steady understanding of the work that needs to be done and what a city can do despite the odds sometimes to make affordable housing a reality for people. So on top of that, we also had a tree lighting ceremony. Our holiday tree lighting was Friday, and we probably had a couple hundred people show up, which was just pure fun, including the moment when about a dozen kids came forward to help us flip the switch to turn the lights on, and the kids were amazing. The Nehalem, the high school choir came and performed, and that was terrific. A lot of people joined us from communities nearby, as well as people who live in our immediate area, and it was just a wonderful reminder of the spirit that the holidays can bring out in all of us, and a chance to be outside together on a night that wasn't raining, which was completely appreciated by everyone. So really nice way to finish out the week. And that's it from Manzanita. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's move on to the city of Nehalem, or Wheeler. How about Rockaway Beach?
Good morning, Tillamook County. Charles McNeely from Rockaway Beach.
Good morning, Mayor.
So our city council will conduct its December council workshop on Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. in the second floor conference room of City Hall, followed by the council meeting downstairs in the council room at 6 p.m. Both agendas are jam-packed with exciting items that we're considering discussing and or considering that evening. So it should be an interesting council and workshop to take a look at. Additionally, we're gearing up to host an open house in February that will focus on the southernmost segment of the Rockaway Beach section of the Cemetery Trail. One of our project partners would like feedback from the community on an alternative alignment between Washington Street and South 3rd Avenue. More to come on this in January. Our excellent Public Works department responded to 4 water main breaks in November. This is more than normal, but all were handled quickly. Work on these is often done under difficult conditions and late into the evening. I'll just simply say I'm so proud of our Public Works department, and we're fortunate to have such a great crew. And then my last item is the fire department group. The fire department crew is making the final preparation for the arrival of Santa Claus at the fire station on December 14th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. All are welcome to attend. Pictures, cookies, coffee, hot chocolate, door prizes, and fire truck rides will be enjoyed by all. With that, back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for your report. Do we have anybody on from the city of Garibaldi? We do not have Bay City with us today, so how about the city of Tillamook and Nathan George?
Good morning, Commissioner. You hear me okay?
Good morning, we can.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, I do have several things. Thank you so much. I want to start with our police department. The Tillamook Police Department, in partnership with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, worked with city and county public work crews to clean up the illegal dumping sites north of the post office in Tillamook. This operation's success is 3 of the 5 staying in the area were housed. So that was county property, and the county took the lead on that, but we were very happy to be able to be a part of that, and we appreciate the cooperation. Chief Troxel attended by the way, on that, we're going to be working with all properties in the city to make sure that folks have a place to rest at night, but also cleaning up and removing all the homeless camps, those who are experiencing homelessness. But we're working with everyone, trying to make sure that they were able to get the resources that they need as much as they are desirable to do that. Chief Troxel attended the Tillamook County Suicide Prevention meeting at the library. This is a multidisciplinary team focused on suicide prevention. More information to come in the next 6 to 12 months as this group works on refocusing their efforts throughout Tillamook County. Superintendent Ellis and Chief Troxel walked all of the Tillamook School District schools looking at what safety and security measures are working and where there's room for improvement. This final report will be coming out in the next few months. Sergeant Helen and our team did an excellent job of the traffic control for our downtown tree lighting and light parade. This was a joint effort between the Public Works and the Sheriff's Office. Good work, and thank you so much. The Battle for the Badge wrestling tournament was on Saturday, this past Saturday. This tournament raised $4,000 for the Oregon chapter of Concerns of Police Supervisors, and this group supports the fallen officers throughout Oregon. In the Public Works Department, we want to extend a heartfelt thanks to everyone who made this year's Christmas tree lighting ceremony and light parade such a resounding success. Special thanks to our sponsors whose generosity brought this cherished event to life, and to our incredible Public Works Department for their hard work behind the scenes. And also our City Hall staff. There are a lot of people involved. For setting up the tree and decorations to coordinating logistics, your dedication truly made this event possible. We're also so grateful for our community members, volunteers, participants who came together to make this night magical. If you lost an item during Saturday's event, please stop by City Hall to check the lost and found. The water distribution division is reading meters throughout this week. Please don't park on obstruct access to your water meter during this period to ensure accuracy in the complete reading. And the utility reports are due on the 15th of the month. Convenient payment options are also available on our website or by calling our main number and dialing 2 on the directory. With colder weathers rolling in, our streets division will be de-icing roads to ensure safer travel. They'll also be hard at work patching potholes to get our streets in better shape. To celebrate the holiday season and encourage local shopping, we're thrilled to host the Tillamook Ornament Scavenger Hunt. Participating businesses throughout town have hidden special vouchers in their stores. Find a voucher and redeem it at City Hall for free. This unique holiday keepsake ornament. The hunt runs through December 23rd or while supplies last. It's a free, fun event. It's a great way to explore and support our local shops while enjoying the holiday season. Don't miss out. Happy hunting. And also, work continues on the installation of the Eastgate lift station. We appreciate your patience as we complete this important project to our wastewater system. I also like to announce that, as I talked about a little bit last week, but the Christmas lighting and decoration contest is now underway. The contest is open to businesses and residents within the city of Tillamook city limits. Prizes will be awarded for first, second, and third place winners in both residential and business categories. The judging will be on Friday, December 20th. Please have lights on from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. Winners will be announced on Monday, December 23rd on the city website. So entry forms can be picked up at City Hall or found on our website. If you have any information, you can drop by City Hall, or you can call our main number, or you can call 374-1828. So I just wanted to also add that our council meeting next Monday, the regular council meeting on December 16th, will start at 6 p.m. and that'll be our regular session. And we're doing that because the council will be holding an executive session following the meeting, which we're hoping to be somewhere around 7 o'clock. However, a public meeting could go longer. So at any rate, the executive session is advertised to start after that meeting concludes. And the purpose of that meeting is to interview several applicants for the interim city manager position. And I'm excited to announce that both the council will be interviewing and also department heads will be in that meeting. So that's very exciting to me because the department heads are a huge, huge part. They're the ones that work directly every day with the city manager. So I'm very excited about that. And the last thing I want to say is just a reminder to everyone to please, I can't say enough, please, when you see something, say something, call 911 for emergencies and dispatch for non-emergencies. Even if you don't think it's emergency, but it might be, go ahead and call 911. We still have so many people that just don't call and then they're upset. And it just doesn't make sense to me why when you see something, you wouldn't call. So That's all I have, Commissioner, unless you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. I don't have any questions. I thank you for your report. And I want to thank KTIL for broadcasting as ever. Thanks everyone for participating, and thank you Tillamook County for listening. Have a great day, everyone. We are adjourned at 8:55.